Isn't it a little bit of a letdown when you put all this time and energy and many, many hours of work into a shoot for it to end up dying basically as just one Instagram or Facebook post on your client's page? Well, maybe it's time we start thinking about real estate video or photo shoots a little bit differently. And this is something for you and your clients to start thinking about. So instead of real estate shoots being a one-off, one production mindset, they can actually be an amazing opportunity to compound and build a library of assets that can be turned creatively into many more pieces of content and ultimately give everybody a much better ROI on their investment. And in today's world where everybody needs to be continually churning out content, who could pass up that opportunity? So in this video, we're going to be going over 5 different simple ways that you can optimize these shoots and get the best ROI for you and for your clients. So thanks for joining. Now let's get into it. All right, number 1, let's start off with the most obvious one that I see a lot of people doing already, which is repurpose your horizontal videos into vertical videos. There's a lot of ways you can do this, but the simplest way you can do it is just zoom in and make that footage work in a video that's vertical. Most of the time, people are editing these into 1-minute condensed highlight reel versions for Reels, for TikTok, for Facebook. So it's pretty simple. There's a few different strategies you can do for this. I have some videos that I'll link below this one that have some tips on how to kind of optimize that footage, like film a little further back so you can have more cropping room, make sure you film in 4K, and so on. But this one's great because you don't have to do any extra work on site. You can just shoot everything normal, shoot it a little bit different so it can be utilized for both formats, and the rest is just in the edit. So no more time for you, no more time for the realtor. You can just make a little extra money, and they can also get more pieces of marketing content to make themselves more money. All right, number 2, this is something I don't think I've seen anybody doing for real estate. This is something that I've seen more in the hotel and hospitality space, and the name I came up for this is feature edits. So what this would be is literally just do a simple shorter edit with no music or anything of one main selling point feature of the house. So for example, think about this on your client's social media page for branding. They could have the main highlight video tour vertical, and then they could also have, you know, maybe 3 or 4 different feature edits. So these could be like a pool, a kitchen, a primary bedroom. You could even make these out of just singular shots, like one really cool drone shot of the exterior of the house. That could be its own edit. So I think by creating content specific around one main selling point feature, it's more likely that if somebody's following your client's page, they're gonna see that, and if it applies to them and is something that's really important to them, they'll immediately click for more information about the rest of the house, as opposed to the likeliness of them sitting there watching a whole like 1-minute, 2-minute video and happening to see that highlight feature. So more of a targeted content piece, and if you already have the footage, why not? But I think the way to do this would be just do like 3 to 5 shots, maybe it's like 15 seconds, and don't even put music on it so that your client can put some trending audio, or you could suggest some trending audio to where, you know, this might be seen by some more people. All right, number 3 is branding content. So essentially all this is gonna be is you can have a shot list, and at every listing that you're doing, get some shots of the realtor, your client, interacting with the space. So they could be staging, they could literally just be walking into it, they could be interacting with the homeowner if they're there, they could be doing teamwork if there's multiple realtor clients or assistants or something like that. Just any type of behind the scenes content is going to be great to have in that library of stock footage, basically, is what we're accumulating over time. So the reason for this is you can use this for any type of content later on, but to market this specific listing in this specific area, you could put together another really quick edit of just them being at the property, and you can post that on social media to, you know, start developing their personal branding. And at the end of the day, for their prospective clients, being able to see what kind of work they're up to, what kind of effort they're putting into their listings is what might actually close the deal and get them to choose to work with them at the end of the day. So we got a couple more left, but I'm gonna get into workflow tips real quick. So what I would do for this is film all the behind the scenes and realtor parts when you get there as soon as possible. So that's out of the way. Then I would go through and do all your normal shots. So I usually go through and do wide shots and then get my detail shots after that, some medium shots along the way if it looks cool. And then if there's any feature areas for those feature edits, get wide, medium, and tight shots and some alternate perspectives, and just make sure you have a little bit extra footage so that you're going to be covered to do those edits and not have everything looking exactly the same. But if you do everything strategically and do a little bit of pre-production ahead of time with your client to make sure that they have ideas going into it, you can probably knock this stuff out by just adding an extra like 30 minutes to your shoot. And 30 minutes for an extra, potentially like 5 pieces of content is pretty great. So number 4, if you do transition into doing multiple edits per listing for your clients and doing some of this behind the scenes stuff, you could actually start expanding your business offerings and offer social media management, which is a big thing in real estate. So to manage this, all you would need to do is, obviously you would have to get all their login information and permission to do it, but you could just run the posts, do the text for the posts, maybe get input from them on how they, how their voice is and what they sound like when they type, and base it off that so it sounds like it's them, and run the post. You could tag the location, you could do sponsored posts, learn how to do that, learn how to target it to specific areas. So pretty simple, not a ton to learn for managing social media, but targeting it to the right area and making it sound and look professional, that's the main goals. And making them look professional and consistent from platform to platform is something that can be a very valuable offer to them and can help you and them stand out compared to their competitors. All right, so last thing, number 5, and back to the idea of building a library. And this one is really, really simple. If you are going through these steps, being consistent every shoot, collecting the behind the scenes, getting the feature stuff, getting the highlights, getting the really good footage, and saving it in an organized way, you can also offer quarterly recaps of, highlights of what their team's been up to over the quarter, maybe monthly recaps even. You could do yearly recaps if you keep this stuff long-term. And who wouldn't want to have that for their business? I think that's really cool, and it'd be fun for them to look back on and for their clients to look back on who might have, been out of mind, out of touch, to get a nice little refresher. And I don't think that I've seen any real estate media companies doing stuff like this. So just one more to think about. And for these, you could also add text, like you could put statistics of, their total sale volume, how much their team's grown, top areas that they're serving. So pretty simple to actually make this, but if you're not thinking ahead and thinking long-term about, growing all this stuff, it's not something that you're gonna do, and it's not something they're gonna ever see and get for themselves. So I definitely think that there's a lot of opportunity there, and I think it's probably one of the things that most people would probably feel pretty comfortable with starting out being on camera, like not talking, just interacting with people or interacting with the house, doing stuff they're already normally comfortable doing. So I definitely think it's a good idea. All right, so that's it. That's all 5. Let me know if you get into doing any of this stuff. Leave a comment down below, maybe link some of your work. Obviously, feel free to share this with your clients for ideas. And yeah, hope it helps you out.